What's up, guys? Thanks for tuning in to American Nostalgia Garage. I got some stuff to show you guys today. We're going to get right to it. Alright, guys. So here's a quick look at... that doesn't go there.
Don't you want to showcase that?
Oh, yeah. You guys remember Ryan?
What's up?
Check out his channel, by the way. Automotive Chaos on YouTube. So
if you like mediocrity, that's the place you want to be.
Yeah, you want to learn how to not do stuff?
Yeah.
Check his channel out. If you don't get enough of that here, definitely check his channel out. So anyway, today, this is what we got going on. I have a Motion Raceworks catch can that's been sitting around for long enough. It's got to go on. So I've got that, the fittings, some hose. Pretty good little kit they make. This is something I'm pretty excited about. Check it out. I mean, if that doesn't get you going in the morning, I don't know what does. American flags everywhere. I mean, come on. It's got set up for buttons and stuff all over the place. This thing's fantastic. I also got it with the mono cord setup that they have. So I don't have 10 cords hanging off the back. I got a quick disconnect that does not have to be welded on from Jegs. Pretty cool. Thank you, Jegs. By the way, Jegs is not sponsoring this video. I'm just thankful for them. And then, here we go. We've got parachute stuff. Yay. So we've got to weld on some a parachute stalk. I'll show you the parachute when we get to it, but I think that'll make you pretty excited too. So anyway, let's get started. All right, so here's what we got currently. We've got the old parachute mount, which was just mounted into a piece of metal that somebody added in between just the end of the bumper here. So gonna have to start by cutting these gussets off. I don't know if I'll be able to save them. I don't know if I really want to, but obviously this stalk has to come off, so we're gonna cut that off, weld the new one on, probably make some new gussets. Let's get started. So just get your welding blankets and just put your welding blanket over anything that you don't want to get hurt. My fuel pump's down there, so we're going to put the least flammable thing we could find in the garage, which is dry cardboard, over the fuel pump, which is not flammable. And now we're going to throw some sparks.
We got eyewear? Check.
Perfect. going to light my face on fire. Good. It seems I have reached a capacity of this cutting disc's ability, which is a shame because I'm just breaking myself in here. How far through am I? I've got a ways to go.
Today's video is brought to you by the letter L, which stands for luck. As in you're lucky that thing didn't just take your face off. This is probably going to get used for like an infomercial or something one day for some company somewhere.
OSHA approved.
Like, here's what we don't want you to do.
It's an 80s style safety video.
Always also want to make sure that you unplug the tool before you change the blade out.
Do what now? All these things are optional.
Hey, you just hold the chuck with the pliers and kick it on, and it'll tighten itself right up. So I've been told.
That's what I hear. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go this way.
That seems good.
Get your weight up. All right, now we've got to continue cutting. Look like Sun and Ray. All right, so when you TIG weld, you got to make sure everything's really clean. So good. Seems clean. letting the torch kind of stay on the material, the workpiece, for a couple of seconds after. This welder and most welders have a post-flow setting, which allows more argon to come out and basically shield the weld as it cools. So that's why I'm doing that. It's kind of important because the weld can get contaminated very quickly if you know, you pull the shielding gas away. So. Alright guys, so we're back on the parachute. We're going to finish welding up the bag mount. So we have this stalk which mounts up here on top of the where the little tether goes, and then this is going to mount up here. The bag will mount to this, and then there'll be some cables and things run, but right now we got to do some welding. So Ryan had a cool tool to find the center of tubes and stuff like that. Maybe we'll show it to you later, but what we did is we scribed lines on the tubes here, here, and here, so that we know everything's vertical, so we don't end up having something twisted and the bag mount being like this or turned or whatever. And then we found the center of this plate here, so now we're going to make sure we weld this up so it's not turned like this or like this. Found the center of that, but first we're going to do the hard part, and we're going to weld on here. So what we got to do is we've actually got to notch this tube to mount up to this, I think it's 1.5 inches. Notch the bottom of this tube, and then we're going to weld it on there, and then we're going to weld the bag mount flange on top of here. So let's do that. Alright, so we have it tacked on here. Now we're just going to finish weld it around. There's just too many hands to try to hold it and film, and so right now, like I said, we have it tacked on. We made sure we lined up our lines so it's vertical instead of all off to the side. And now we're just going to weld it on here. So I'm actually going to put another tack on this side just so it doesn't move, and then we're going to finish weld it. So. Alright, so the next thing in our adventures is to get the steering wheel off. I actually really like the old steering wheel, but if you saw me get in this car, you would understand why I'm taking it out. So, gotta get my super cool sheet metal fabricated cool man button off of here first. which is of course some like license plate material bent into an S, and then just a couple of wood screws just driven deep into the plastic on the back of the steering wheel here. So that's that. Gotta get the horn off here so we can expose the buttons underneath, or the bolts underneath. This is really easy to do when you're facing the opposite direction and you're upside down and backwards. All right. So here's what you got under your pretty stereotypical GM steering wheel. You got one big nut, a ground for your horn button. We're going to pull this nut off, then we're hopefully just going to Hulk this steering wheel off without breaking it. And then we're going to assemble some new parts. So let me get a wrench. All right, so 7/8. Good thing that was finger tight. It's a regular washer from the hardware store, so I know that I've done this before. I've been in here. Hey, you know what?
Just make sure you take the column out with the wheel.
I'm getting in. I'm coming in.
Beauty and grace.
And that's why this steering wheel has to come out. It's obviously coming out easily. Let me go get the puller. Oh God. I'm going to tell you where that roll cage pipe just went. All right, so now I've got the right tools. Here's a puller of some sort, but it's going to work. There it is, of course. The second I start tightening, it comes right off. Unbelievable. I think I loosened it. I must have loosened it. That's what it was. Has to be. So if I had pulled on it 2 more times, maybe it would have come off. All right, we're discovering we got to go a little bit further because this little plastic piece that comes out for the horn isn't going to let the quick release seat all the way down to the bottom. So further we delve. Well, if you want it to come out, why don't you just take all the screws out?
Probably should have told you that I was staring directly at it.
It's all right. With my prior track record, I probably just could have pulled it off with my hands.
That's true.
Good. And just as I thought, there's more stuff. Okay. And we're at the time of the program where I cut that off. We're at a point where I don't want to depress this plate and pull out that C-clip. So we're just going to cut that off. The right tool for the right job, people. Yep. I mean, now it actually looks like I know what I'm doing. I can assure you I do not. Put this back on because I think we keep it. I don't really know. All right, so there's actually a pretty good reason, seriously. This is not a joke, people, why I chose this quick disconnect over others. And it's actually because of this piece. Now, this piece slides right on, right? You screw it on with a nut, and if I ever want to go back to the steering wheel, all I have to do is take the nut off, pull this sprocket back off, and I could actually put the other steering wheel, the old steering wheel, back on. as opposed to a lot of kits where you actually have to weld this onto this gear onto the steering column. We're not doing that here because I want to be able to potentially go back, just in case. Alright, we're just about all the way seated. It's not on all the way, the bolt, but the bolt has it might have more threads than we ever have the potential to get. So I'm actually probably going to run this stock bolt. What kind of thread engagement we got in there? That's probably fine. I could just thread lock it, I think. All right, let's throw on our quick disconnect.
I don't even think you need the wheel.
No, actually, I think I'm going to steer like this. Spoiler alert, this is what it looks like. Wow, that's cool. I really like it. Huge difference.
Yeah.
Well, here's the difference. Comes right off. I'll get a hook. I can hang it here. And the benefit of this is that whenever the car doesn't want to have the steering wheel on it, it just will fight me. No, the benefit of this is when I'm ready and the alignment's off, I can just do an alignment right here in my driver's seat. Very cool. Now we just got to add some buttons to it, and then we're in good shape here. All right, here's what we got. This is going to be bump button right here for when we have the trans brake loaded and we want to move forward up to the staging line lights. Trans brake button, big red button, can't mess it up until you try to engage the trans brake at 160 miles an hour, and you'll see that transmission there gone. But yeah, pretty cool. I'm gonna have to do the mono cord, but I'm finding out I'm gonna have to do a little bit of welding here. So for anybody who's curious, what I will say, one drawback, this steering wheel does not work. And the monocord, excuse me, the steering wheel works fine. The monocord setup, which has this U-shaped bracket that goes on the back, so it puts all your cords in one spot, goes here, and I don't have to have now one wire for this and one wire for this. All the wires for every button on this steering wheel will come to this joint and then go underneath the dash as one unit. The problem is, when I put this here, if I mount it where they want you to mount it, I cannot use the quick disconnect part of it. The collar actually sits underneath the disconnect part, so it won't actually let you pull it back. So I'm actually probably gonna have to weld this onto the steering wheel. All right, so now we're getting rid of this here. We're getting rid of this old PCV system that I got. So this catch can is going to go away. Supposedly the cameraman hates it, so we're going to get rid of these old lines, that catch can. We're going to use this new and improved Motion Raceworks catch can, which we are going to mount there. Now I know from another channel on YouTube, this is the best tool in the world. Now I did know that. But a wise man did once say on another very popular YouTube channel that I do enjoy watching, that this is the best tool in the world. So we're going to test that theory. Well, there's not really much to test, it's just a fact. But we are going to use it because, again, it is the most versatile tool in the world.
When you know how to use it.
Right. This is a German vice grip.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, yeah. So it doesn't work in America.
The old left-handed vice grip.
Ah.
Metric vice grip. That's why it's not working.
All right, now you just don't move now.
Oh, it's actively moving.
Hold. Still moving?
I think it stopped.
It's gonna move again when I start doing stuff.
Yep.
All right. So what the plan is gonna be is we got a straight here. Straight here. These are going to be fun to tighten when that time comes. And then we've got two 90s. By the way, Fragola stuff. If Fragola ever wants to send me something, they're more than welcome because their stuff is awesome. I have $2 billion in their fittings in the garage, so yeah, they're good stuff. And then I'm just going to pull off the old. What we'll do is a 90 here. Sounds gritty. That's how you know it's doing stuff. Can't really see the other side where you are, but remove the other side. Just get that out of the way for now. All right. So now we've got our hose locations. Now I've just got to run some hose from each side down here, and then we're in good shape. So let me get a length, and then we'll start cutting, making some hose. All right, so I'm actually going to mock up the driver side hose first, just because this thing is doing its own thing right now, which is pretty cool. It's just deciding to move, which is cool because I mounted this to a circular bar. I'm going to do the driver side hose first, give myself a little extra, and then I'll do the passenger side hose. So I'm going to try to avoid all the hot stuff, do something like that. Do something like that. Looks like we're going to be right about here. Let's go cut that and then we'll make a hose. Alright, so here's what we got as a finished product. Well, not finished because this isn't going to be finished, but we'll do some odds and ends later. We got both of our hoses coming out. We're going to have them converge here, so it's nice and neat. The passenger side will run across the engine, go down to the valve cover, and the driver's side will run across, the passenger side will run along the top of that valve cover, and we already had the adapters on there from before. So that's what we got for now. We're going to call it for today. Tomorrow will be another day. We'll finish up some odds and then. So see you then. Well, I'm gonna show you guys a little bit of a side note from what we're doing, but I'm gonna show you guys another project that you haven't really been able to get a chance to look at, but I have to do some unpacking of the garage first in order to show it to you. So give me a minute. you a little walk around here. Don't mind all the stuff. Lots of stuff. So this is a 33 Ford hot rod kit car. I know. Relax. It's just a toy. So it's not original, but it's just a toy. Small block Chevy. It's got the Holly Sniper EFI. Custom ordered cobwebs. Now don't be judgy on the inside. All these boxes are all things that need to go on the car. The dashboard's not mounted, but it is done. Well, I'm going to cover it, but it's done. It's got a seat mounted just so I could drive it in and out. I don't remember what wheels these are. What are these? Riddler wheels. Very nice though. Again, not everything is done. So I'm just giving you a little quick walk around. This will be a project to come on the page on the channel soon. As soon as I'm done with some other stuff. It's gonna have some air conditioning. Yeah, it's gonna have heat and air conditioning. Creature comforts. This car also has a full body that's gonna be going on it. So it's gonna have everything. So stay tuned for this on the channel. Alright guys, here's what we got. Don't mind this cardboard that I never took out.